selected this console because of the connectivity between the GameCube and Game Boy Advance, and I just wanted to play the games that play these two together. Wait, why is this bright? So, I had a mishap happen. There's some sort of natural disaster. Next thing you know, the power went out. I don't know how long this is gonna be out for. The only source of light I have is my phone and this Backlit mod Gameboy Advance. And I just wanted to play the games that play these two together. Wait, why is this bright? Oh yeah.
So when I was back in Washington, I had to buy a couple of things. I got a car, a phone, and picked up a couple games from a retro game store. When I was going to the store, I was looking for a few Mario games. Then I looked at a custom Game Boy Advance and ended up having a backlit screen. As a little retrospect, the Game Boy Advance was released in 2000, and it was pretty much an upgrade from the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Can you not tell by the name? The original Game Boy had a couple redesigns, with one happening to be called the Game Boy Light. This enhancements would allow the player to see the screen in darker conditions. After that, all the way up to the Game Boy Advance, there was no sort of light installed into the screen to see the gameplay. You would have to have some sort of light source of your own in your home or even the sun. So the original Advance looked like this. It has the original buttons from the original Game Boy, but added shoulder buttons. It is a comfortable handheld console. The only downside to this is that there's no lit screen. They brought back the old display, which I think they wanted to save the economy to use less batteries. I don't know. The Game Boy Advance Sp was a whole redesign and has a clamshell look. It was very easy to put in your pocket. This was my first console I owned. I loved it ever since, to the point where my mother carved my name to the back of the shell. Later on, Nintendo released the SP, also known as the 101 model. The thing about the old SP, it has a front lit screen, with the new one having a backlit screen. This makes the games look beautiful. The colors are more defined, it's brighter, it just looks better in general. But what if your hands don't fit right on that thing? The only way to have a screen like the 101 is just take that one out and put one in there. Since I had this in my hands, to see if this thing's actually worth it. Like I said earlier, I bought my modded Game Boy Advance in a local retro store back when I was in Washington. It looked really nice with the Famicom style buttons. I don't know why the person who made this put the Pokemon themed screen protector on this device. He probably had spare parts lying around. It even has the original sticker in the back. When you put it in your hands, it's amazing, but the buttons feel pretty heavy. I was struggling to move in a certain direction and really had to force my thumb down so it can actually respond. It's probably because of the buttons are from an aftermarket seller. So I guess that's why it's so fucking stiff. So just playing the games is way better than playing on the original GBA. You don't have to use a light source anymore, and you can just play this thing in the dark. I only have 2 games to show, and that's Pokemon Leaf Green and Mario Tennis. Looking at this just makes me want to play GBA again. It just fits in with the look of the console, and this is what Nintendo should have done in the first place. Everything just screams at you that you have a level 54 Venusaur in your Pokemon game. I'd rather play on this than the SP because it's more comfortable in the hands. The only problem with this is that this particular GBA is unfortunately malfunctioning. It was probably dropped a couple times and that damaged the wiring inside. For whenever I shaked it, it will just restart. This is not good. Just imagine you're in the middle of a Pokemon game and it just happened to restart on you. I guess it could be good if you're losing a match and you happen to shake the screen in rage and it will just start the match all over again. The screen does consume a majority of the batteries. My light flickers back and forth. It's having a seizure at this point. There's time when it's green, then a few seconds later it will turn red and taunts at you to the point where I just said, "Fuck you, I'm restarting now." That's why it's a good idea to purchase chargeable batteries that last longer. People do use batteries that charge with the USB port, but for that you would have to carve the battery shells in order to fit the USB port in there. Okay, before I get out of hand, here are my final thoughts. Should you buy one? If you don't have the experience to solder one, then I guess, but it's a little pricey. How about mine for $200 and it was pretty funky at the start until I fixed it. If you have the soldering experience, then you can purchase the kit. There are different backlit mods out there, and I'd recommend looking at my Life in Gaming's videos to see which one's the perfect screen. There are tutorials on how to install this if you are a do-it-yourself person. Others like to buy different color shell and buttons to be customizable and make it their own special edition. Yes, it's nice, but I prefer playing on an official color degrading of an OG console shell. It's just just the aesthetics of the look and should have been like this if it was the early 2000s. Now, as a disclaimer, if you don't know anything about electronics or never touched a soldering iron, don't just go out and buy soldering gear just for this modification. I don't recommend it because you may have a mishap and accidentally left the soldering iron on and burn your house down. I recommend having somebody else do it that has the soldering experience. It saves a lot of headaches later.
Buying a backlit mod Gameboy Advance, it's probably not going to be a good idea. If you want to stick to the SP101, then that's on you. But for those who want to play the original Game Boy Advance with the backlit screen mod, then go ahead. But for those who want to mod their Game Boy Advance but don't have the experience to solder, for one, don't touch a soldering iron unless you have the experience, or you could just let somebody else do it, or you might have a situation that end up like this. Hello?
Hello, this is Penny Archer. Due to the situation that we have, we're making you change buildings.
Why does this keep happening?
God damn it!